And welcome everyone. We are live from Rasdhoo in the Maldives. I'm just gonna give it a minute until I can see that you are indeed in the chat. And yes, I can see the numbers, so you should be able to hear me. And Tish is here. Welcome, Tish. Ayog and Sarah, welcome again everyone. We've got about 10 minutes before to start. We are just waiting for everyone to connect. If any of you were completely new to me, if you've just clicked on this video or on this live, this is a live stream from Rasdhoo Island. It is nearly 6 p.m. on the 23rd of February 2025. So if it's no longer February 23rd for you, you are watching a replay in the next few years, weeks, months, hours, whatever it might be. Eileen, nice to see you here. And welcome everyone that just joined. We've got about 10 minutes before to start. Hi, Sam. So if any of you are watching the replay in the next few hours or days, if you want to skip the hellos, we're just waiting for everyone to connect and we'll have a little chat waiting for everyone. If you wanted to skip that and go straight into the tour, that's absolutely fine. If you're watching the replay, you could skip the next 9 minutes to go straight into the walking tour. Hi, Cynthia. And let me flip around the camera so you can get a glimpse of the view already. So the sunset is on the other side. We might turn up a bit last minute for the sunset, but that's absolutely fine. I want to be there right after the sunset because we might have a few surprises. Yesterday there were a lot of bats coming out right after sunset. So I want to chance it and try to see the bats. Beautiful sea indeed. It doesn't look that blue at this time of the day, but it's very, very transparent when the sun is on. It's a bit windy today. I'm just gonna double check that the microphone is plugged in properly and that there's no problems in the connection. So as usual, some of you know the drill. I'm gonna tap the microphone 3 times. Let me know in the chat if you've heard the three taps. Cool. You should have been able to hear a tapping noise on the mic. If not, that's probably that I have a piece of sand in the connections. So do let me know in the chat that you've heard the tapping. And if you hear any wind noises, that shouldn't be the case. Although it's a bit windy, I've got a professional microphone, so you shouldn't be able to hear much of the wind. Loud and clear, perfect. Thank you guys. Oops. So we've got. Hi Lisa, thank you. We've got 8. Oh, what's that? We've got 8 minutes to start. I've got an interesting notification, a little attention sign, whatever that means. Just gonna ignore it. It's probably just letting me know that I'm using a lot of data because I've only bought a little bit of data to be able to do the tour. And it is nearly 6 p.m. in the Maldives. So we are, I think it's 5 hours ahead of the UK. If any of you were completely new to me, I usually do live walks in London, but I'm traveling at the moment, so we'll get to discover a bit of the Maldives today, and next week I'm taking you to Sri Lanka. Seven minutes to go. Let me flip the camera around so you get a bit of a view. I'm gonna already go on top of that rope because we don't want to be tripping over it in a moment. So let's move across this side. It's very quiet on this side because the sunset is on the other side, and also because this is the This is not the touristy beach. On this side of the island, you're meant to respect some of the Muslim protocol. So you're not meant to be wearing a bikini on this side of the island. Not that most people respect it, but yes. Oh, your internet was down yesterday. Well, at least I didn't go live yesterday, so at least you've not missed me. Hi, Laurie. Welcome everyone that just joined. We've got about, let me tell you, 6 minutes to go. 6 minutes. So you can see a beautiful blue. This is nothing compared to what it looks like at daytime. I couldn't do that tour any earlier because that would have been too early for you across the pond, or anyone on the west coast. It would have really been too early. Yes, Tish, it is a public beach. You have a few hotels behind me, but you are allowed to use the beach. But in theory, that's where the locals come. So if you want to go for a swim, you're meant to be swimming with your t-shirt or cover your shoulders. To be honest, I did wear a swimming suit here yesterday and no one said anything. But this is the main difference between, I'll explain in a bit more detail once it's time to start. But this is the main difference between the local islands, where the locals live, and all those fancy resort private islands that you might know about the Maldives. So yeah, I'll explain in a bit more detail, but here basically most of the island would follow the Muslim protocol, so no alcohol, no dogs, no bikinis, although all the other side you can wear a bikini. We'll head towards Bikini Beach as well, so you'll see you can, but not on the street though. You're not meant to be walking back to your hotel in your swimming suit. I mean on the street. They're not really streets. You'll see it. It's more like a little footpath with condensed sand. It's not really streets as such, but you're not meant to you're meant to stay quite covered when you are on the streets. David, I don't dive. I snorkeled. My friend went diving though, and I was very lucky that they let me go for free on the same boat, because the diving here is actually cheaper than the snorkeling for some reason. I'll probably explain a bit later. Yeah, I don't think I can dive. One of my ears is very, very sensitive to different pressures. I had a bad ear infection once in China. There was a nightmare, Chinese hospital and all that. And since that hair is very, very sensitive to any. Even when I snorkel, if I go too deep, it's gonna feel uncomfortable in my hair, so I don't dive. It's fine. One of the main thing to see over here when you dive, it's the manta ray and the sharks, but you can also see them from snorkeling. Good morning, Pauline, and let me see, 3 minutes to go. So we've got 3 minutes. I'm gonna try not to tell you anything too interesting in the next 3 minutes, because it's not officially time to start quite yet. Yeah, Linda, you've made it. Welcome. Yeah, David, although I think it's a bit like everywhere, a lot of the coral reefs are dying, global warming and all that. So the corals are probably not as colorful as they would have been a few years back, but that's everywhere across the globe, sadly. Because it's underwater, we don't care or we don't realize, but yeah. I've seen a funny fish this morning. I've seen a fish with a nose, weird, like kind of like a high nose, but a big nose. I had never seen a fish with a nose before. You saw an octopus. Yeah, my friend saw one this morning. I didn't see it, but she saw one as well. Well, she was diving, so he was probably a bit deeper than I was. IRB, nice to see you here. And welcome, Amanda. Ooh. I felt a drop of water. I hope it's not rain. I usually always have an umbrella with me, and not today, because I'm not planning on any rain, but I think we're good. 1 minute. The Moray Hills, ooh. Well, there are quite a few sharks as well. I'm kind of hoping to see some sharks. Last night there were at least 20 sharks in the harbor, because the fishermen, they come back and they cut off the tuna. That was about 8 p.m. and we'll finish by 7. But I'm kind of hoping the fishermen will already be there. So finger crossed. Don't get too excited. I don't want to say too much before we get there, but I'm kind of hoping we might be able to see them. Cool, it is officially time to start, so welcome everyone. If any of you were completely new to me, I'm Natalie, and I'll take you for a little live walk in Rasdhoo in the Maldives. Right, let me flip this camera around, and without further ado, let's go. We want to move to the other side anyway, not to miss the sun. But I am basically on the local side of the island. So Rasdhoo is one of the so-called local islands. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the Maldives. Actually, when I said I'm going to the Maldives, some of you might have been like, whoa, she must be loaded, because it's a very, very expensive country to visit when you go into the private resort islands. Until 2009, that was the only way to visit the Maldives, to go into those fancy resorts. Now, that's not my type of holiday because, well, first, it's expensive, and also those resorts, you know, they might be Hilton, they might be Marriott. So although it brings in some work, it doesn't really bring money to the local communities, you know. And since 2009, they have allowed the local islands, so that's where people actually live, to be open to tourism. So to give you an idea, my hotel is actually, it's only 42 pounds a night. Well, at this time of the year, but this is high, this is peak season. And it's actually fairly high standard because they kind of copied everything from the resorts. So they treat you with towels and beach towel and things for the swimming and umbrellas and everything, like you would in a good hotel. So it's really it's another way of visiting the Maldives. But the thing you have to know when you come to a local island, it's that you have to kind of respect the Islamic protocols. So you cannot bring any alcohol. So there's no alcohol whatsoever on the island. Oh, look at the little scarecrow. That's bit creepy actually, but that's quite cute. So if you want to come and swim on this side of the island, officially you should swim with a t-shirt. Well, especially as a lady. As a man, I don't think they have to, but a lady, you should cover your legs and cover your shoulders. I don't think most people respect it, but you should respect it on this side. Now I'll take you to the other side. I'll take you to Bikini Beach, where you can wear a bikini. So that's the main difference between the local islands and well, the prices are also very different, of course. So now let's head towards Bikini Beach. That's where the sun is about to set. The big blue building on my left, it's actually the police station. So Rasdhoo is the capital of this atoll. We are on the Alif atoll. So the country, the Maldives, is divided into 26 atolls. An atoll is a group of apologies, I've got a little spike in my toe. Bear with me 1 sec. I think it's gone. So yeah, an atoll is is a group of islands, and this one is the capital. So you might see. I don't think I'm allowed to show you that, but let's see. I think this is to do a desalinated water. So the tap water, I think it's actually seawater that they remove the salt and everything from. Well, it is the case on Malé, on all the resort islands. So I think it's the same here. And the blue building, that's the police station. So here on Rasdhoo, you've got a police station, you've got some kind of a criminal court or something of justice. You've got some administrative buildings just because it's the capital. It's not big. It's 1,200 inhabitants, and you don't really see much of them, to be honest. It is, I believe, 500 meters by 600 meters. So it's a quite small island. Hi, Rennie, and welcome everyone that just joined. That building there, excuse my finger, but that's my hotel. So you see, it's very close to the beach, although it's not one of those fancy hotels that have the doorstep on the beach. But it's lovely, very flowerful. You can see my t-shirt drying at the window. That's where I am. And this is the football pitch. The locals play a lot of football or soccer for some of you. Let me show you. It's actually, I know it's a normal football pitch, but it's actually huge compared to the size of the island. And it looks like it's actual grass. They must need a lot of water to water that. Now let's go. I'm gonna try not to film the building on the left because it's the power station, and I see one of the staff is there. There's a lot of signs saying I'm not allowed to film the power station. I don't know what they're doing wrong with the electricity, but anyway, so let's go straight down to Bikini Beach, and I'm not showing you the building to the left. There's nothing to see anyway, it's just a power station, but for some reason they don't want it to be filmed. So Bikini Beach, that's where you are officially allowed to wear a bikini. And it is actually called Bikini Beach. It's not a nickname, it's the name of the beach. So, you know, bikini, not, I wouldn't go topless, you know. Well, actually, we should try, because I've seen some men going topless. You know, you've got those ladies going topless in different countries these days because of what they call nipples equality. In the countries where it's not illegal for men to be topless, there are a lot of ladies going topless. I wouldn't dare to do this here. So you see Bikini Beach. But I've seen a lot of photos on the internet of ladies doing that, which is quite fun. I had not really heard about nipples equality before. Anyway, so now we'll find the sunset. So this is the main touristy beach, really. It doesn't get too busy because the main attraction on Rasdhoo, it's not really the island itself. The island is actually very quiet. The main attraction really is the water, the water experiences, you know, to go snorkeling or diving. And the sun is hidden behind the trees, behind the clouds, but it's still here. So perfect timing. We don't want to go too fast because in a few moments the bats should start arriving. So you see on the other side, straight across, that's a private island. So if I wanted a beer, I'd have to swim to the other side, because on the private island you can have alcohol. It's not fair. I don't think I can swim that far for a mojito. But yeah, it's you know, I'm not a person that wants alcohol every day. But when you know you cannot have it, then you want it, you know. That's my friend on the beach there. I'm gonna ignore her. So there we go, beautiful Bikini Beach. Apologies if I miss anything in the chat. I'm trying to look for the bats. I didn't even know they could come out that early. We used to have some bats in Guadeloupe when I was young. I lived in the Caribbean, but they were mainly later in the evening. Here they started to come at the beginning of sunset yesterday. They're frog bats, you know, they go into those palm trees. Canadian women are the right to go topless. Yeah, it's... Well, in France you could go topless on the beach, but you know, like for example, usually you're not allowed to go, even for men, usually you're not allowed to go topless anywhere else than the beach on the port anyway. I understand why, because if a man is driving topless, nothing happens. But if a lady is driving topless, you know, that might create an accident. People might be staring at the car and have road accidents. So, you know, nipple equality, okay. But sometimes if it's dangerous, you've got to do something about it. The sun is making a little bit of an apparition down there behind the private island. So on those islands, it's very often, some of those resorts are really expensive. You know, some of them are up to £2,000 a night. You know, you've got those islands with all those little, what are they called? You know, those kind of little bungalows built up on the sea. Are there sharks? Yes, they are. They are, Zico. They are not dangerous. There are a lot of different types of sharks, so you can go and snorkel and see them, and you can even dive and see them. Well, they are not dangerous. There was actually an accident very recently in Malé. So Malé is where I'm going back to tomorrow. It's the capital of the Maldives. The thing is, it's quite badly regulated. You're not allowed to feed those sharks when you go diving because it can be a bit dangerous. But of course, people want to sell experiences when they're guaranteed to have sharks. So they actually, what happened in Malé, well, officially it's an accident that was random, but what I've heard is that they went down with, you know, a washing machine drain, you know, the metal part, full of tuna, and then they started to feed the sharks. And there's a poor a Chinese tourist. The video is all over the internet. A shark came from behind and literally bit her head, her skull from the back. She's alive. She had quite a few stitches, and the video is still all over Instagram. But those type of accidents usually happen because people feed the sharks in underwater. So that's what you're not meant to do. I don't think there are any dangerous sharks over here like you'd have in, I don't know, Hawaii. Or, although one might argue that a shark can always be dangerous if people trigger them. Right. Just waiting for the bats. I said that there were a lot of them, but I don't see any quite yet. So this part is lovely, you know, you can come for a drink, well, a soft drink, or food and watch the sunset. But, you know, don't imagine cocktails on the beach. Nope, not here. They have their cocktails on the other side, on the private islands. Can I zoom into the pink sky for a bit? Yes, I sure can do that down. There you go. Don't want to zoom in too much because then we'll be losing a lot of resolution. Not many jellyfishes either, says Laurie. Well, I'm paranoid with jellyfishes now. After what happened in the Philippines, I've been bitten by a terrible one, the tiny one that's like 1 centimeter, very, very dangerous. Don't remember what they're called. It's a Japanese name, but they kill people, and I was really bad for a week. So I don't want any jellyfishes. I saw one the other day in Colombo. So to tell you how I got here, I flew from London to Abu Dhabi, and then Abu Dhabi, Colombo. We were meant to come straight, so Colombo is in Sri Lanka. We were meant to come straight from Colombo to here, but that flight was cancelled, so we ended up having like maybe 7 hours in Colombo. So we got out of the airport and went to the beach. I saw apologies, I've got something in my feet again, bear with me. I saw a big jellyfish there in Colombo. So I'm going back to Sri Lanka in a few days. I'm going to one other island, Mafusi. We're taking a couple of ferries tomorrow to get there. And then, a bat, look, can you see the bat? It's well, that was far in the distance. It might look like a bird, but it's a bat. Let's get closer to the palm trees to see if we see any more bats. And if they don't come, we'll make a move towards the other side of the island to show you a bit of the streets. But yesterday there was the time when there were a lot of bats here. So let's wait here for a minute. So the first resort in the Maldives, that was in 1972. And then they started to develop about 15% of the islands. I think there's about 1,100 islands in total in the Maldives, but about 15 of them are actually private. It's only resorts. The locals are not living there. What are the wire cubes on posts? Are those lights? Yes, I believe so. Although yesterday when it was proper dark, we moved to the other side, so I didn't see them on. But yeah, those cubes, I believe they lit up at night, yes. But aware during the day. I didn't see much during the day, but just before sunset, they started to come. Yes. Their boss, Batman, might have told them to hide away. And they're very big. They're I think they're called Indian fruit bats. They go into those palm trees, but they come from the distance. The first one I saw yesterday, I didn't realize it was a bat. I was just watching the sky and daydreaming, and I was like, hold on, that's a chubby body for a bird. Ah, there's one there. Can you see in the distance? That's a bat. I guess on camera they look like a bird really, but they are big bats, big fat bats. I'd like to see a couple more, but they probably never really look very good on camera. I tried to film them yesterday, but it's not easy. After that, we'll go inside and see the village really. Well, the village, it's more like a town. You have 2 mosques, you have school, so people do live here. 2 mosques, because it is, of course, a Muslim country. It has been the case since the 12th century. Actually, some of you might remember when, you know, the video I did in Tanger in Morocco, I've shown you a grave of an explorer and traveler called Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta, he explored pretty much all the Muslim world, and I think I saw one, but she's hidden now. He actually came here to the Maldives. He was trying to enforce or reinforce the protocols or the habits of Islam. He was trying to get ladies to dress a bit more, but that wasn't very successful apparently in his days. And you know what? Let's go into the streets to show you a bit of the village. It's actually very very quiet, very peaceful. We don't really... well, some of you might remember last year when I was in the Philippines, you might remember I took you to a little island called Malapascua. I believe this is about the same size as Malapascua, but in Malapascua you'd see a lot of the locals, you'll see kids, ladies, chicken, you'll see kids playing with dogs on the streets and all that. Here you hardly see anyone on the street. They have about 6 restaurants, but you don't really see the locals in their daily life. Apart from the football pitch where they play, you don't see, well, you certainly don't see any kids playing with dogs. Dogs are not allowed on the island. This is actually a bit weird. Until I went to Morocco last time, I didn't know that Islam had a problem with dogs. They don't. It's a misinterpretation of the Quran. I only found out in January when I was doing a tour in Morocco. There was a lady in the group. She was from London, but Pakistani, and she was asking, "Hey, les copains, those are my little friends." So no dogs, but we have a lot of cats. Hey, do you want to be a YouTube sensation? So yeah, we got quite a few cats around the island. They're not as they're a bit shy. They don't really run for cuddles. But yeah, no dogs. What happened is, that lady from Pakistan was asking our guide in Morocco, "How come you've got a lot of dogs here? You know, it's not very Muslim of you." And I was like, "Hold on, what's wrong with dogs?" I never realized, oh, you want a cuddle. I didn't realize that there was anything against dogs in the Quran. But you want the cuddle here? You want the cuddle here? But apparently there is something in the Quran that says that you cannot pray if you've touched a dog. You've got to wash your hands first. So some people have interpreted this or misinterpreted this as dogs are impure. So apparently that's one of the reasons why they don't allow dogs here. And I think it's the same in a few Muslim countries in Asia, like Pakistan and stuff. But me being French, most of the Muslim I knew in France, it's from Northern Africa. And in Northern Africa, they don't have anything against dogs. Apparently, it's even in the Islamic world, it's very controverted. So, yeah, let's say bye. Bye, my friend. Bye, my little friend. Bye. Cool, let's go on the streets. We'll exit this way. Oops, just fell into a little gap. Let me show you the sky last time from here, because the colors are changing very, very rapidly. And let's go and explore the village. Oh no, I need to show you this beautiful door. Hold on. They have a lot of, every single hotel, of course, it's the same all over the touristy destinations. They all want to be visible on Instagram nowadays. So you find a lot of those things specially designed for selfies. So Ocean Breeze, that's the name of the hotel just behind me. So you'll see a lot of those everywhere because they want advertising on Instagram. So you frame yourself and then they're getting visibility. And that works a lot. I've seen it a lot with El Nido in the Philippines. They really learned how to utilize Instagram, and but then the thing is, then people always go and visit the very same areas of the globe, you know, because we all see those beautiful pictures on online, and then we all go to the same spots. So, well, you know, I'm part of that. You know, I'm technically a YouTuber, so I probably have a very tiny mini influence as well. Right, I'm gonna move because we don't want any copyright claims with the music behind me. Some of you might know YouTube doesn't like music, so I've got to run away from the music. There we go. Hope you're not able to hear it. So we're just on the other side of the football pitch. So you can still see my hotel from here. There is my bedroom. So you've got those equipments for people coming to do the gym for free. So that's quite cool, you know, well organized. Despite the fact that it's a very small island, you've got those public facilities. Oh, you've not heard the music? Oh, perfect. The hotel behind me was playing fairly loud music. Great. If you've not heard it, that's perfect. Ah, and now it's the call for prayer. The call for prayer, for some reason, here is much Oh, it seems to be much softer than it was in Morocco. It's almost like a song, when in Morocco it felt like someone not shouting, but almost, you know. Can you hear the call for prayer? Sometimes I talk about noises, I don't even know how much of it you can hear with the microphone. Yes, pretty flowers. So, you know, I'm glad I got to come to the Maldives, because it's sadly going to be one of the first countries to be underwater. Oh, thank you, HTP. Thank you very much. We are on a Rasdhoo, Rasdhoo. R-A-S-D-H-O-O, Rasdhoo. It's in Alif Atoll. It's about 60 kilometers from Malé. So yeah, we are hardly a few meters above sea levels. So sadly, with climate change, the Maldives might be one of the first countries to be underwater. In 2009, actually, the president at the time, Mohammed Nasheed, he had an underwater cabinet meeting. Let me show you. So they literally met up underwater. That was to highlight the problems in the press, you know, to grab some to grab some attention, really. Okay, let me move the picture. Let me show you 3 of the restaurants. Really, in terms of I was a bit surprised, not surprised, because I had watched a few videos and stuff I knew, but you don't really have that much choices in terms of places to eat. I think a lot of people have food at their hotels, and you've got 3 restaurants on this side, on this street actually. One on the, so there are 6 in total, but at least one of them is not open for lunch. So it's really not much variety in terms of or options in terms of restaurants. And I don't know where the locals eat. I didn't see any little eateries or place where you can buy a little snack, you know. I don't know where the workers, you know, the people that do the excursions or that work in tourism, I don't know where they have their lunch. They probably go back to their mums or their wives. Well, it's a small island, so everyone can go home for lunch. Because, I mean, you can go from one side of the island to the other in 10 minutes, really. It's only 500 meters to cross it. That's where I had lunch this lunch I created today. If you have a fish and chips here, I had a fish and chips last night, and I was. Let me show you the hospital. So this is the hospital. The fish and chips here, it's actually tuna and fries. Because I was telling my friends, don't worry, it's not going to be like a fish and chips in the UK. Well, no disrespect to the fish and chips in the UK, but I think it would sell even more if you called it tuna and fries. There's a lot of tuna over here. Look at this tree. Isn't it an amazing tree? Oh, I've not read about the floated schools, Linda. Maybe it's possible, but I don't know. I've not read about it. Talking about the hospital, there's been a few tragedy over here in the last few years. Well, it's not any more dangerous than anywhere else, really, but you have quite a bit of current in some places. There was one last year. A couple of Chinese tourists, Shi and Shu. She was the young man, 27 years old, and Shu was the lady. And they'd come to stay in a hotel here. That there are 2 Chinese-run hotels here, and they went for an excursion snorkeling. And apparently, well, according to Shu, the time to go snorkeling, so her husband jumped in, and then she asked the instructor if she could get a life jacket, because she did not know how to swim. At least that's how she phrased it in the interview, but it might have been a translation problem, because when you don't know how to swim, why do you jump? Anyway, the instructor allegedly said to her, "No, you don't need a life jacket, believe in yourself." And then she jumped in, and she couldn't locate her husband, and then the boat went a bit further, followed the current, and they found she on his face down. Apparently the instructor didn't know how to do CPR, so it's actually Shu that did it, and he couldn't be saved. So she's trying to sue the company now. And the year before, there were 2 young British men that drowned on the same day. Well, 24 hours from one to the other. But it's sadly, when you are fascinated by the corals or by the sea life, sometimes you don't realize the current is taking you away, and it's not any more dangerous than anywhere else. You've got those tragedies everywhere, really. Now let's go and see the port. I'm kind of hoping that the fishermen are already back. Because last night, what happened last night, I don't know if it's every night, and I don't know what time it starts, but the fishermen had just got back. They were chopping the tuna right after catching them on their boat, and they would drop the leftovers in the water. Everything you take off of the tuna. Hey, my friend, this one is a cuddly one. Hello. Yeah. Do you want to say hello? Yeah, I'm gonna see some sharks. Do you wanna come? No? Yeah, come with me. Let's go and see the sharks. Yeah, I've got no food, me. I've got no food. Go to the park, you might find some tuna, There's a lot of tuna over here. I think I had tuna at every meal so far, including breakfast. The traditional breakfast, it's tuna anyway. But every single meal I had tuna actually. So that's fine. I love tuna. I love my fishes. That's the company that took my friend diving this morning, and they were very kind to let me go on board for free. Because the excursions, the way they are run, it's a bit it's interesting. They'll basically charge you per animal. So you wanna go and see the turtles, $30 each. You wanna go and see turtles, that's actually $70. The mantas, $50. You can pay everything in dollars here. Although you don't have any Americans. I didn't meet any Americans. There are a lot of Chinese, there are a lot of Russian, Spanish, French. I didn't meet any Americans, but they seem to love dollars. Actually, in some places we paid more paying with the local money, because they had their own exchange rate. They seem to want the dollars. And all the prices are being given to you in dollars. So yeah, if you want to see, so for example, to go and see the manta rays, snorkeling would have been $50. Plus, if I wanted to see the turtles, that'll be another whatever. So that's very quickly an expensive day. And oh no, I don't see the fishermen yet. Let's go and see if the sharks are already waiting. We never know. So yeah, the excursions are very. Because they'll take you on a boat, so it's pretty much always a private tour anyway. I see people looking, so the sharks might be there already. So yeah, it's very quickly expensive. Well, although I think if you go to those private islands and you book them from there, it's probably even more expensive. If you compare to, for example, in the Philippines, you'll go on a full day out, that'll cost you, I don't know, $65, but you'd have the lunch included, you'll have many different stops on island hopping. Here it's literally one animal. No sharks yet, because the fishermen are not there yet. They should, it might be them, hold on. Oh no, this is a bin delivery. Another little friend. Hello. You don't want to be on YouTube, do you, my love? Hiding away. I think you're waiting for the tuna as well, aren't you? Yay! You're waiting for the tuna? Let me show you. I'll show you the video. So this this little kind of table here, I don't know if you can call it a table, but that's where the fishermen set up their cutting station to clean up the tuna, and then they'll you'd love to see the turtles. I've not seen any. My friend saw one this morning. I've not seen any here. So yeah, they set up on this little table to cut off the tuna. Let me show you the video. Those are all wild sharks. So they come here, they cut off the tuna, they drop the little bones or everything. I'll play it again, hold on. And there were like at least 20 of them. It's quite impressive. I had never seen that many sharks in one go. So I was kind of hoping they'll be already here at this time, but no, they'll probably be turning up in they'll be turning up in an hour or so, I guess. Sea ambulance, yes. So to tell you how to get here to the island, you've got you've got three options really. What we are planning to do is to take the public ferry from Malé. It takes about 4 hours, and that's like $5. It's only twice a week. And our information was wrong in terms of when it happened. We had booked the trip this way so we could take the ferry that's affordable. That wasn't the case, so we had to take a speedboat. That's $40, and they go twice a day. When we arrived, that was actually quite fun. The hotel we booked, they didn't ask us how we'll get to the island or anything. And the guy that was selling the ferry ticket was like, "What's your hotel?" And we were like, why would you need to know that, you know? Twice they asked for our hotel, so we gave her the hotel. I didn't know if maybe they wanted to avoid people that do wild camping, you know? I thought you'd have to have a hotel to be able to book a ferry. And when we got here, we had a little golf car picking us up. They knew that they had 2 passengers on the boat. And I was like, how did you even know that we were on that boat? And they said it's the boat that called them. So every time the ferry departs, they let people know what hotel pickup they should get. So yeah, you've got. Oh, you love that traditional boat? That's the one I had this morning. Oh no, it's not the one. No, it's almost the same, but it's not the one. The front of mine was different. There was kind of like a flag at the front, but pretty much the same. I'll show you mine. I think mine is there anyway. I mean, not mine, but the one I took this morning. And so you could come by the ferry, you can take the speedboat. Tomorrow we have to take a speedboat again because otherwise it was too short because we're going to a different island, so we've got to go back to Malé. So we're taking the speedboat to Malé. That was mine from this morning. And no. Yes, yeah, it is. They've removed the little flag at the front, but yes, it's this one. And so you could ferry, ferry, speedboat, or you can take a seaplane. Now that's about $600 or $700 per person, but it's basically a plane that lands on sea. Out of my budget, sadly, but it is an option if you've got the money. I've seen one taking off earlier. So that's probably quite fun. I've never been on a seaplane. Yeah, they are cool boats. I just wanted to give it a minute to wait for the end of the prayer, just to see if the fishermen would turn up after the prayer, and if not, we'll wrap up the tour really. Maybe they don't do that every night, I don't know. I was quite lucky to see that yesterday anyway. I'd like to show you the alphabet as well. The alphabet is I think it's called Tana. Let's go and see on the sign there if there's any, because so far we've only seen stuff in English, but I'd like to show you the Tana alphabet. It is inspired by Arabic. Let's see if there's any Tana there. No, it's all in English. They're building a lot everywhere. So, you know, what I'm showing you now, if you came in a year or so, it might be very different. You see they're building a lot of those huge complex. So that's probably going to be a very different feel in a couple of years, really. Maybe not even, maybe just a year. And because I've seen at least 3 or 4 big hotels in the making. No, nothing in Tana either. Let's go and take a look at the boats. Some of them might have their names written in the local alphabet. Yeah, pretty sky. Let me show you that view again. It's the perfect timing for a beautiful light, really, for a tour. I see people waiting for the sharks already. Let's go and take another look. We never know. The sharks might come early to wait for the fish. Thank you. Thanks ever so much, Anne. And if any of you dropped me a little tip on PayPal and buy me a coffee, that's very, very much appreciated as well. I know I'm traveling on everything, so you probably think I'm in paradise, but it still takes a bit of time and prep to run those tours. So any support is always appreciated. Right, let's go and see, because the sharks would not know exactly what time it is, so they should come a bit early. No sharks yet. Yeah, exactly down. But you know, in a way, I don't mind, because I don't mind. I mean, it's not my business anyway. But at least if people come to the local islands a bit more, it's more money for the local communities. You know, instead of giving it to the big, the big companies, international. Oh, could those be fishermen? Let's just give it 5 minutes. We never know. Then fishermen might turn up. And let's go and take a last view at the sunset from this side on the little jetty. Thanks, Linda. I don't actually see the flying pier. You see them in the YouTube chat, and if I check later on, I'll see them. But on Prism, I only see the diamond on the face. So I don't actually probably spend time choosing the actual fructor emoji, when actually I only see them later. Thanks, Cheryl. That's very, very much appreciated. I'm actually being particularly careful here on this island, because not that I guess everyone believes in fate to an extent. My first ticket that I tried to book from Colombo to here, my friend managed to book hers, and I couldn't book mine on a Chinese company airline. I just couldn't book it. They were telling me the plane was full, and I just struggled for a night. And eventually the next day I managed to start over again and have another. Anyway, I managed to book, but it was so difficult that sometimes, when you have something very easy that's very difficult to do, I think, is it fate trying to get me not to do it, Maybe something bad will happen, maybe I'll have an accident, maybe. So anyway, I managed to book it, and then a week ago it was cancelled. So I was like, oh, fate really doesn't want me to get to the Maldives, So I managed to book another flight. But, sometimes I'm like, was it my guardian angel trying to protect me from something? So I've been particularly careful, trying not to swim too far away in the current, or looking under my foot, not to fall in the water or whatever. It's, it's sometimes when you have those funny feelings that something happens for a reason. Anyway, I don't see the fishermen, so we're gonna call it a day. Let's just have a last quick look in the water. What time is it anyway? Yeah, it might be. It might not be every night. It might. Thanks ever so much, Pisas. That's very much appreciated. Do you see flashing light in the distance? Oh, yeah, I see flashing lights as well. Well, let's give it a minute to see if it's the fishermen coming through, but I don't think so. Thanks, Pauline. Thank you very much. Let me flip this camera around and let me know in the chat if you have any questions before we go. So far, my next tour is in Trincomalee in Sri Lanka. Unless I found a lovely spot on the next island. I don't know how much credit I've got. So yeah, getting internet was a nightmare. I got to the airport and the minimum I could buy was $40. When I only needed 1 gigabyte to run this tour, I was like, I'm not going to spend $40 in a tour. And both of the companies, there was the same deal, $40 or $60. And I asked the lady, I was like, what if I go into a normal shop, you know, to get a normal SIM card? She's like, no, you're not going to be able to find any cheaper on the island. And I was like, what if, eventually she said, unless you've got a friend. And I said, no, I don't have a friend, but I could make a friend. And eventually on Malé, so in the capital, I walked into a little shop. I could see they were doing telephone. And I said to them, I actually told them the truth. I was like, I cannot buy a tourist SIM card. It's just too much, you know. I know most tourists in the Maldives have a lot of money, but I don't. I cannot justify that. And I was like, if I give you a fake address, can you give me a local SIM card? And he was like, yeah, sure. So I managed to get a local SIM card and pay $11 instead of $40. So that's quite a big gap. Well, I don't have as much data, but I didn't need the data. It's like if you're trying to sell, you can sell 1 bottle of water to the locals, but the tourists would have to buy 20 bottles. It doesn't make sense. So that's how I managed to have internet for this tour. So if any of you visited the Maldives and you wanted a bit of internet, just pretend to be a local at a little shop in Malé. Most people don't go to Malé though. The airport in Malé, I'll show you in the video. The airport is not on Malé, it's a different island. So you've got to take a little boat, 10 minutes boat. But most people actually go straight from the airport into a speedboat towards their resort or anything. Not a lot of people go to visit Malé. Although the market was quite cool. I got to see some stuff that I'd not seen before, food-wise, so that's quite cool. I'll show you the Malé market in my videos. When I get back to the UK, I'll be producing a few videos. No, the light is not getting any closer, so those are not the fishermen. Oh well, no shark for us today. Anyway, thank you for coming along, guys. It's always a pleasure to have you on board. If any of you were completely new to me, well, it's great to have a few newcomers. Let us know in the chat. Don't be shy. Thank you, Cynthia. And if you want to see a bit more of me, of course, do subscribe so you can get notifications when I go live. And so if everything goes to plan, next week Trincomalee in Sri Lanka. After that, Ella. So I've got one more sunset, so about the same timing. And then the next 2, I'm going to do sunrise. So that'll be great for people in America, not so great for people in the UK, because that'll be just before 1 a.m. in the morning. But it's quite difficult to schedule from this side of the globe. So I tried to please everyone and do 2 here, too late, too early. And so yeah, Trincomalee. So that's gonna be it's a beach area as well. Ella. So that's more in the mountains, and whatever it's called, the surfer area in south of Sri Lanka. That's of course if signal is good and if everything goes to plan. Anything could change. I might add a few more, or I might even change the timing of those ones. So make sure you keep an eye on my channel to find out. Can we check again? Yeah, absolutely, Cheryl. Let's take a look. The thing is, I don't know how the shark know which day of the week it is. No, they're not here. Let's see again. I can try to ask. Do you know if the fishermen are gonna come with the tuna tonight for the shark?
No.
No, not tonight. Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, the gentleman said not tonight. I don't know. I didn't realize it was because it wasn't like a tourist attraction or anything. It was just them cutting the fish. But maybe it's not every night. Oh, there was a big bat. Sorry, I didn't move the camera quick enough. There was a big bat just above the tree. Well, I think it was a bat. It's a bit dark, but I'm pretty sure it was a bat. Anyway, thank you for coming, guys, and hopefully I'll see you in Trincomalee, and if not, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great evening or a great morning, a great lunch, a good night, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are in the world. And thanks all of you for your tips and your support. It's always great, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.